John Lusk here of Lusk Archery Adventures. Serious testing, successful hunting. Today I'm going to be testing another broadhead by Kayuga. I really started to like Kayuga's way back when I first tested their Gen 2 pilot cut. And I tested a few different models of those. Then I tested the Zot that came out, like that one. Then they came out with a Trizot. And I've tested a couple different weights of those. Now I'm going to be testing the 100 grain model. This is the smallest of all of them. I really like the 125 grain. And I'm curious how this one will measure up to that because they have different dimensions of the blades based on the weight of the broadhead. So I'm curious to see how this 100 grain will perform. And for all the testing, I'm using my regimen for 2025. For a detailed description of that, please check out the video I posted earlier this year called 2025 Broadhead Test Process, and it'll explain all about it. For the shooting, I'm using my Elite Archery compound bow. For the flight testing, I'm using my Killer Instinct crossbow. And for all the arrows and bolts, I'm using Bishop Archery stuff because it's really that good. All right, let's zoom on in here and go through some of the design features and specifications, and then put this Trizot to the test. Here's a good look at the Trizot. They make a lot of different weights. This is the 100 grain. They also make 125, 150, and 175. I've tested a couple of those before. You can check them out on my channel. Now I'm testing the smallest one of all, the 100 grain. But don't let it fool you by being so small. Man, this is a beast of a broadhead. So let's start with materials. This ferrule is made out of a 400 grade martensitic stainless steel. And it's a really cool looking ferrule. It's got a little scoop inside each of the sides like that. That's just going to work in conjunction with the single bevels to create an extra rotation. And then it comes to this really sharp, like it's kind of like a chisel, but cut on contact tip. I love the way they've designed that tip. And then you got the blades, and the blades are also a 400 grade stainless steel. Okay, so they're stainless steel as well, 400 grade, and they're 0.031 inches thick. So pretty thin blades, but given that there's not a lot of exposed blade to it, I've found in my testing of the other models that they actually hold up really well. So it's a good combination of durability as well as thinness. They're brought to a Rockwell hardness of 46 to 48, making them hard enough to do well and cut well, but then soft enough to resharpen. The cutting diameter of this is just 29/32 of an inch. So it's sub 1 inch. Pretty small cut, but there's 3 blades. And so with 3 blades, your total cut is 1.36 inches of cut. So compared to like a 1 inch 2-blade broadhead, or even a 1 1/4 inch 2-blade broadhead, you're cutting more tissue than you are with that, but in a tight little package. The overall length is 1.03 inches. So about an inch long and just under an inch in cutting diameter. And again, these are single bevel that's just going to work in conjunction with that scoop to give a nice rotation. Now, another thing that's cool about the blades is that they have 3 places that they lock. And let me show you this. And here's a blade. You can see the little notches that it has. It has 3 different places that it locks in. And that just helps it to be extra secure on impact. And then they're just extra locked and held in place by that O-ring and as they're tightened onto the arrow shaft. I will say they come with this little screw base that I would encourage you to hang on to, because when you're not using them, those blades can fall out unless you have the tension of this being screwed onto the back. I like to do that. But once they're on, they're very securely in place. You just have to make sure that they're really locked and loaded in each of those little grooves like that. Now for the price is $26.67 each, so about $27 each. But they also come with a lot of extra blades. So that's nice. So you're getting free extra blades, if you will, that would lower that price. And using my discount code of LUSK10, 10, you can save 10%. So a while back when I tested the first Kayuga that came out, or that I saw, the Gen 2 pilot cut, it was such a great broadhead. I asked them for a discount code. They gave me one. And so I love using the Kayuga Gen 2s. And then when this one came out, I can still use the same discount code, and I love using these as well. They're really fantastic broadheads, though I haven't tested the 100 grain until now. Oh, and resharpening, you got the single bevel, and it's pretty small. It can look pretty intimidating to resharpen, but the Stay Sharp Guide C kit would do a really good job with that. Just look that up at Stay Sharp Guide. They have a lot of videos showing how to sharpen different broadheads on their YouTube channel, Innovative Outdoorsman. But the Stay Sharp Guide C kit would really help this to get super, super sharp. So really look forward to testing this 100 grain Trizot and seeing how it performs.
The Trizot got the 9 ring. It took 150 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 10 on a 10-point scale, plus a bonus for being under the threshold of 200. It penetrated 10¼ inches, and that might be the deepest penetration of any head I've ever tested in this medium. And check out the spiraling in this wound channel. Man, that looks really cool. And it only took an additional 15 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is a 9.7 on a 10-point scale. And it's going to get an extra bonus for both the sharpness and the edge retention being under the thresholds of 200. It penetrated through 63 layers, which is a 9.0 on a 10-point scale. It rotated 90 degrees at 12 inches. That's really impressive.
It's in perfect condition after the 3 shots through the MDF.
And here it is after the 2 shots through the steel plate. It held together really well. The tip is in perfect condition, and the blade's got a bit chattered, as you can see there. That's just what happens with a single bevel a lot of times. And they made small but decent holes in the steel plate.
Here it is after all the durability testing. The only damage it got in the first 2 rounds was a little bit of edge chatter in the steel plate. And then the cinder block, man, it held together really well. Really impressive durability here. So what'd you think? Man, it's another winner. They're really putting out some cool stuff. And I love the idea of a 3-blade single bevel broadhead, and with replaceable blades like this, and comes with a lot of replaceable blades, or a lot of blades to replace. It just, I don't know, it's just really a cool design. Maybe not the size cut that I prefer. I like a little bit bigger cut. But if you got a lighter setup, or you're going after an extra big animal where penetration is the key, this might be something really worth your while. So check them out. And you check out the score sheet. See how they performed in the areas that matter to you the most, and see if this might be a good fit for you and your hunting needs. And stay tuned for the overall cumulative score, as well as the corresponding Lusk grade. And I'll also put up a slide with all the discount codes, including Kayuga, that you can use. If you use Lusk 10 with any Kayuga broadheads, you'll save 10%. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Look forward to seeing you next time.